The very first thing I have to do is to import the video into the media library. And I will drag it to the first video track. It will appear in the preview window. The very first thing that I have to do before I start editing the video is to remove the noise from the audio. I click on Edit Audio, and it will open up the wave editor. Then I click on the noise reduction. I will click into the preview checkbox and move the arrow up a little bit, and then I listen to it. It sounds pretty clear to me, so I click OK. When I close the program, it will automatically update the audio in PowerDirector 9. The next thing is to start playing the video and cut out the part where I walk into the scene. So as you can see, when I walked into the scene, I made myself comfortable, I looked into the camera, and I paused for a second or two before I started to talk. It's because I wanted to make sure that when I'm cutting the part out of the video where I walk in, I will have a nice first frame to start my finished video. So right here, it looks to me like I'm about to start speaking. I have to click on the clip button, and it will allow me to edit the clip. I split the video and I delete the first part. Now my video starts with me already sitting in front of the camera. Before I go any further with editing, I have to make sure that I save my work. I click on File and Save Project As, and I recommend that you have an external hard drive where you save all of your work. I find the folder where I want to save it, I give it a name, and I click Save. When you work on your editing, I suggest that you keep saving your work after every few steps, because otherwise it will slow your computer down and it can even freeze it. It happened to me before. And if it happens, you don't want to lose a lot of work. So now I'm going to import the second clip, and I will remove the noise from the audio like I did it with the first one, and then I come back and I explain the next step. So now I have my second clip in the timeline, and I want to do a transition between the two. But before we can do that, I have to make sure that the first clip is ending at the right point, because as you remember, I walked into the scene at the beginning. Now I had to walk out of the scene to stop the camera. So I have to cut the part off of the video where I'm walking out. Okay, so here you saw me pausing for a few seconds. This is where I stopped talking, and now I can click split and delete the end. The second clip that I want to add is the actual tutorial, when I put the camera close to the TV screen and I filmed the entire tutorial. I will narrate this clip so I can cut out the audio part of it. I have to lock the video track, and it will allow me to select the audio only, and I can click delete. Before we add the narration, let's fix the screen. I have to unlock the track and click on the clip button. Now you can see these dots are around the picture. It means that you can stretch the size. Let me show you how. Okay, you can zoom in or stretch it out. I want to stretch it a little until the green wall disappears. I will start stretching it slowly in both directions. And of course, I have to remember to keep saving my work. So now I can simply drag the second clip to the end of the first one. I want to add a transition effect between the two clips. I go to the transition room, where you can find many different effects, and you can spend some time to see what they do. Pick one that you like and just drag it between the two clips. Let's look at the effect. Okay, I'm happy with that. I will record a narration to this clip in the next step. As you remember, I said in the first part of this tutorial that the slides will change every 5 seconds. I will have to edit the duration sometimes because I might want to speak about a particular slide longer than just 5 seconds or maybe less. I will open the voiceover room and I have to find the part in the timeline where I want to start speaking. And it is going to be right here after the transition. I will minimize the screen and pull up the actual text that I want to read out loud and record. I recommend that you write it down for yourself because it goes much smoother, but you can just improvise if you know exactly what you want to say. To start a recording, you have to click the red button and wait a few seconds, and then you can start reading your script. I will just record a few sentences and then I show you how to align the narration with the video clip. So here we go. But before I start, let me show you the actual tutorial that explains how to put your presentation on a DVD. This option is for beginners, but you must have some knowledge of Microsoft PowerPoint. Open PowerPoint and click on the Design tab. Then click Page Setup. Set High Definition Dimensions. Choose size 16 to 9 and orientation landscape. Okay, that's good enough for now. As you can see, the recording is placed in the timeline exactly from the moment where the transition ends. I started to talk about the actual tutorial here. I have to make sure that the presentation on the screen starts at the same time. We still have the first slide of the DVD playing and we don't want that. I will do a very easy fix here. I am splitting the audio right here so I know where the tutorial is starting. And I will start playing the video until the first frame of the tutorial that is matching my narration. Okay, right here is the first slide. I have to make sure that the entire text can be seen on the TV screen, so I will just keep moving the clip in the preview window until everything is visible. Okay, so this is where I want the video to match up with the audio. I have to cut out the video starting from the split until the first frame. I will lock the audio track because in my next step, I will delete this part, and this step would also delete everything underneath if I didn't lock the track. You see this little orange box in the timeline? You can actually separate this line, and I will go way back until I made the split in the audio, like that. And I will remove the highlighted part in the video. That way my audio and video will line up at the same moment in the timeline. But before you remove anything, remember to lock any other tracks in the timeline in case you have music or titles, because if you don't, you will remove everything that is covered by the orange area. In the next video on this page, I show you how to extend the frame of your video, line up the video with your narration.